Welcome to this explainer. Look, today we are tackling something that literally keeps millions of people wide awake at night. I mean, if you've ever stared at your bank account at the end of the month and just wondered where on earth all your hard-earned money miraculously vanished to, well, you're in exactly the right place. Because together, we're going to build a completely new framework for how you view and interact with your finances. We're talking about permanently moving you from this place of quiet, lingering anxiety to a place of total empowerment.
Okay, let's jump right in. I want you to open your mental banking app right now. Not your savings, not your retirement portfolio, just your everyday checking account. Whatever number is sitting there right now has basically one single job, right? To keep you afloat until your next payday. So I want you to ask yourself a pretty uncomfortable, visceral question. If your employer delayed your paycheck by just 1 week, would your life continue almost normally? Or would absolutely everything immediately become stressful? For millions of people, the honest answer is instant, panic-inducing stress.
And you might be totally surprised to learn that this acute financial stress, it completely ignores your income bracket. We aren't just talking about minimum wage struggles or periods of unemployment here. We're talking about college graduates. We're talking about professionals earning over $75,000 a year. Heck, this trap regularly catches people earning well into the six figures. Yet, despite those massive numbers on their W-2s, every single month feels like an absolute, exhausting race against the calendar.
It's a rhythm so many of us get trapped in. You know how it goes. Payday finally arrives, you get that brief sigh of relief, right? But almost instantly, the bills devour it. Your checking balance drops like a stone. It's kind of comical how fast it evaporates. Then, to survive until the next payday, out come the credit cards to fill the gap for everyday stuff. Groceries, gas, the basics. Finally, another paycheck hits, and the entire exhausting loop just starts all over again. People call this living paycheck to paycheck, but honestly, that phrase really hides what's actually going on behind the scenes.
So here is the massive aha moment. We usually blame a lack of funds for our stress, but the actual culprit? It's an invisible lack of control. The real problem isn't that money mysteriously disappears into thin air like some magic trick. No, the real problem is that most people have absolutely no system controlling where that money goes before it even arrives in their account. And that, right there, is exactly where budgeting comes into play.
Now, I know, just hearing the word budget triggers instant dread for most of us. It brings up these terrible images of restrictive financial diets where we have to give up literally everything we enjoy. People assume it's boring, stressful, or just flat out impossible. We picture giant, unreadable spreadsheets and the incredibly tedious chore of tracking every single $5 coffee. Actually, scratch that. Most people try it for 2 weeks, forget to log one grocery trip, and just decide the whole concept doesn't work for them.
But we really need a complete mental reframe right now. Budgeting isn't a financial diet. It's simply deciding where your money works before someone else decides for you. It's all about intentionality. It's about actively protecting your wealth. Every single dollar that enters your life has a destination. Creating a budget just means you are the one stepping up to the plate and assigning that destination rather than leaving the whole shebang to chance.
Because think about it. If you leave that money sitting there without a job, outside forces are going to gladly step in and quietly siphon it away. Advertisers will claim it, those 6 different streaming subscriptions you completely forgot to cancel, they'll drain it, impulse purchases at the checkout line, creeping interest charges, and the silent wealth killer of lifestyle inflation, they will gladly seal it right out of your pocket. Your money will always get spent. The only real question is whether you spent it intentionally.
Think about the very last raise you received. Did your financial stress suddenly vanish? For most people, it didn't, and it's because of a very specific trap. We naturally think getting a raise is going to cure our financial anxiety, but lifestyle inflation proves that income alone rarely fixes underlying money problems. Expenses just magically rise to effortlessly match our income. You get a raise, and suddenly you want a nicer apartment, or a newer car, or better vacations. Because of this trap, someone making $120,000 a year can feel just as incredibly stressed as someone earning $50,000. It's just different numbers, but the exact same anxiety.
Let's put this into perspective. Consider 2 people living in the exact same economy. Take Sarah. She earns a solid $5,500 a month after taxes. She thinks she has plenty, but her month is filled with random, untracked spending. Late-night online shopping, endless food delivery, impulse buys. By the 28th of the month, she's highly stressed, feeling totally broke, and promising herself next month will be different. Then we have David. Now, David earns significantly less, $4,300 a month after taxes. Yet David has high savings, he invests regularly, takes vacations without guilt, and rarely worries about unexpected bills. Did he discover some secret lottery ticket? No way. David simply tells every dollar where to go before a payday. Same inflation, same grocery prices, completely different system.
And this exposes a really profound truth. True financial stability is about behavior, not just math. Money simply reveals the habits that already exist in your life. It just amplifies them. So budgeting isn't about figuring out how to make more money first. It's about fundamentally changing how you manage the money that is already passing through your hands right now, today.
Imagine trying to fill a bucket with water, but that bucket has 10 holes in it. When our financial bucket has holes, our instinctive reaction is to just turn the faucet on harder, right? We think the answer is more overtime, or picking up another exhausting side hustle, or desperately chasing that next promotion. But what actually happens? The holes in the bucket remain wide open. The water just leaks out faster, and we end up working twice as hard just to stay exactly where we started.
Which brings us to a really powerful realization. A budget doesn't increase the water, it patches the holes. Sealing those behavioral leaks in your system makes every future dollar you earn infinitely more powerful. Wealth isn't just created by earning more and more money. It's created by keeping more of what you already earn. Once you finally patch those leaks, your bucket actually starts to fill up, and your money starts building real, undeniable momentum.
So here is our roadmap for the rest of this masterclass journey. We're going to start by redefining your income, then we'll move into mastering your expenses. We'll uncover exactly why cash flow is your true predictor of success, learn how savings actually works, and finally build practical systems to keep the whole thing running on autopilot.
I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder as we prepare to tackle our very first building block in the next explainer. Ask yourself honestly right now, will you finally start telling your money where to go, or will you let the world continue to decide for you? The choice is entirely yours. Keep that in mind, and I'll see you in the next session as we begin taking back control of your financial life.